Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, part 6 of our Star Trek Day tribute, and we will be on the USS Enterprise from the Kelvin timeline. So, like we've done before in the previous videos, what we're going to do is go over the nostalgia nugget that you get when you hail the Enterprise, go over the scene where we're grabbing inspiration for the build, then go over the build, weapons, space set, consoles, traits, stations, DOFs, and then take it into Nargala and see how it does. Here we go, captains. First and foremost, here is the Enterprise from the Kelvin timeline. And I will say, at the beginning, I didn't actually like the design, but it did grow on me. And one of the sort of criticisms I did have for it was the nacelles. It just felt like it was too, I don't know, the word play school came to mind, but again, it did grow on me. Now, the one thing that I do wish is that the nacelles were separated a little bit more wider. Other than that, it did go, and maybe the neck going forward just a little bit, but regardless, it has become one of my favorite starships there. I don't know where I'd rank it if I were to rank the Enterprises, but this was one of the ships I actually got to as well, one of the first expensive ones too. I did buy this off the exchange when it came out with EC, but like I said again, it is a ship that we are proud to have, and we're glad to do another Star Trek tribute build on. So here we go. Let's go here and hail. View the USS Enterprise NCC 1701 Kelvin timeline. Again, no audio. Apparently it's a bug, but we'll just read it ourselves. Your father was captain of the starship for 12 minutes. He saved 800 lives, including your mother's and yours. I dare you to do better. Now, that was Captain Pike's line to Kirk there in the bar, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go. The ship you are viewing is a replica of a ship from an alternate universe. During the destruction of Romulus, Ambassador Spock and a Romulan terrorist known as Nero were pulled into a black hole and transferred back in time to 2233. Nero's ship, the Narada, engaged with the USS Kelvin. Shout out to the Kelvin, love that ship, creating a branching timeline that resulted in many changes from the history we know. Knowledge of this universe, including this alternate version of the historic Enterprise, was gained during the Sphere Builder incident in 2410. So notable crew members: James T. Kirk, Spock, Leonard Nimoy, Montgomery Scott, Hikaru Sulu, Naoto Uhura, Pavel Chekhov, and 07118, which is the android. Now, of course, it's the same names, different crew. Now, I will say here that the trio here of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy did a really good job, in my opinion, for an alternate universe, especially of the OG characters. Here you go, the movies that it was featured in: Star Trek 2009, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. The Kelvin timeline films were an alternate retelling of the history of the classic original series in order to retell the story with a modern sensibility. The decision was made to set the films in an alternate universe, a brilliant decision that allowed new actors, sets, new stories, while still connecting to the original Star Trek continuity. A young cast took over the classic roles from the original series and played them to perfection. I wouldn't say perfection. I'd say they did make it their own, which, again, I believe the most sort of notable sort of differences in terms of the two were, again, they were younger, right? This crew was a lot younger, and I think they all did really well. And of course, unfortunately, we did lose the actor that did Pavel Chekhov there, but so there we go. There's the nostalgia nugget. Now let's look at the clip here that we're going to grab inspiration for today's tribute. Now, this was from the 2009 movie of the Enterprise firing weapon. So again, we're going to not have the volume on because we do not want to get in trouble, but the clip is only about 20 seconds. So we know this scene here the Enterprise flying in and firing its phasers. Again, I didn't really like these phasers. I don't know why they had to change them, but of course it was a reason to change them because in an alternate timeline universe, they're more reddish. And the ones in game in Star Trek Online don't really match us 100%, but it's okay. The effort's there. Now, I will go mentioning the power that we'll be using for this look later when we go over the build, but you can see here it is a very rapid fire and one after another here, so keep that in mind, Caps. There it is, just blasting some missiles that were going towards Spock there. And of course, this next scene here had the Enterprise doing the same thing, but also firing Kelvin timeline torpedoes, which, captains, you know, if you've been here on the bridge here with us for a while, you know that the KT phasers, or sorry, KT photons are one of my favorite photons in the game. So I'm very happy to include this in this build. Now, in these two scenes alone that we're grabbing inspiration from, we did not see any aft weapon firing, which is fine. That's okay. Because again, captains, like the other previous 5, we are just doing this for fun. And then again, so there you go. Again, all you see the phasers and photons firing on a single target. So that's where we take in inspiration from. So we'll finish, once again, we'll play the scene. Photons firing, phasers firing, there at the Narada. So there you go. So let's hop on back to the bridge here. Back to the KT Enterprise. And open the build. So there it is, the USS Enterprise. See what I did there for how many times now. So this time we're using the legendary Kelvin Timeline Intel Battle Cruiser. Of course, this comes with the 10th anniversary. Glad to have this. And of course, recently we had the Intel Power revamp. So this is quite a good spec. It was always a good spec. We always liked it. But we're just doing something a little different here. Not that we haven't done anything different with our other builds. But here we go. The 4 weapons. Again, we're going to be using the Kelvin Timeline phaser emitters, which we actually bought from the exchange. Okay, we've re-rolled these, re-engineered these to crit DM damage 4. We're using 3 of them in the 4. And 2 Kelvin Timeline Photon Torpedo Launchers. Also re-engineered crit DM damage 3. Again, with this combination, I feel we're going to get the effect that we want. The torpedoes are going to be firing, and these are really quick reload, and that's why you see the proc there, reload. But these are going to fire in concession. That's what we want. That's what we were looking for in terms of what we saw there in those clips there, or at least that one scene. So for the space set, nothing too different. Again, Elite Fleet Intervention Proto-Matter Deflector from your fleet colony, your prevailing innervated impulse from your competition rep, the mycelial harmonic matter antimatter, and Tilly's review pending modified shield. Both of these are from the Discovery rep. The 2-piece of this, of course, gives us the plus 120 hull regen. Now, in the aft weapons, like I said, we didn't see anything firing, so I'm just going to leave this one empty. No need. I will put a Kelvin Timeline Photon Torpedo there in the aft, along with a phaser, because these are the phasers where they come from, and I'm pretty sure they can fire from the aft. Now, looking here, I believe that torpedo launchers the torpedoes fire from here, because I don't see any other place where they would fire, but we're going to leave one there just in case. But what we're going to try to do, try to keep our front to our enemy so that we're doing what we saw there in the scenes. Again, captains, like I said, doesn't take much for me to take inspiration and essentially try to emulate what I've seen on screen. Devices here, we're using some energy candy for plus 20% bonus energy weapon damage for 20 seconds. Our temporal negotiator to help our bridge officer abilities recharge by 50%. And subspace field modulator for some resistance rating. Now the consoles here, we're going to use the one that came with the ship, because why not? Well, the auxiliary injection assembly, plus 3 current and maximum auxiliary subsystem power, plus 19 bonus exotic damage. We don't have any bonus or any Saifu magic here, but we're just going to use it because it was in the movie. So they use this to kind of get out of the black hole there. Bio neural infusion circuits for the crit severity. This is from the low buy store, plus 26.2%. Nothing to sneeze at. Our favorite consoles here, the dynamic power distributing module for its 11.3 all damage resistance rating, 19% directed energy damage. Of course, when you hit this, the oh crap button, you for 20 seconds get plus 40% bonus damage when your hull is above 80%, plus 100% bonus damage resistance rating, and plus 500% hull regen. I should just say plus 100 bonus. And of course, this comes from your Atlas, the prototype dreadnought that you can get from your event campaign. You're pairing it, of course, with a point defense bombardment warhead from the NX, any version of the NX. You get plus 25% projectile damage. That's going to help our KT Torps. Plus 1% critical chance for its cuteness. And when we go to more details here, of course, this is where it's going to help our phaser damage by giving us plus 33% phaser damage. Woohoo! One of my favorite consoles, the Ordnance Accelerator from the Gamma Rep, for its plus 26.3 projectile and phaser damage. Ooh, so nothing to sneeze at. These two other consoles here, the Domino, where it's plus 15% phaser damage, plus 20 AC rating. Of course, this comes from the Bajoran Interceptor you can get from your Phoenix prize pack at Epic Tier. But for 10 seconds, you get 25% fire cycle haste for energy weapons, 25% bonus all damage, 25% recharge speed for bridge officer abilities, 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. So this is going to help, again, both. Just like our last build that we did on the Sovereign, we're boosting both. We're trying to balance it a little bit between the two, using via consoles or traits, or stations even. Within the time, though, if we defeat a foe, we get plus 2-second duration. We're going to use this little brother, the M6 computer you can get from your Tier 3. Temporal Escort you can get from the shipyard for dilithium. Not a bad deal. Plus 15% bonus all damage. 15 seconds. Plus 25% cooldown reduction on tactical abilities. 20% fire cycle haste for all weapons. Plus 30 AC and defense rating 15 seconds. We're going to keep with this console the Tactical Counter Command Multi-Conduit Energy Relay. Try saying that 3 times fast. From Surface Tension, the Episode. We're going to use this, of course, for the plus 17.2% phaser damage and plus 34.4% photon projectile weapon damage. And then here, we've got one torpedo vulnerability locator, of course, for the plus 2% critical chance, but plus 34.5% torpedo weapon damage. And we're going to use 2 vulnerability locators for phaser. Same thing, 39.4% phaser damage and plus 2% critical chance. Stat-wise, we are going to get crit chance of 39.3% and crit severity of 196.2%. Captains, of course, keep in mind, I have my Pandevers ranked all the way up to 600. Skill-wise, specialization, intel, primary, temporal, secondary. Nothing different there. From our traits, again, we're trying to balance both out to boost both phaser and photon damage. Good day to die. Superior projectile training. Superior beam training. Intelligent agent attaché. Beam barrage. Resonating payload modification. Self-modulating fire. Terran targeting systems. Unconventional systems. And the Boimler effect. So this is what we did with our starship traits. And again, captains, I was corrected in my last video. Thank you very much, DT, Darkthorn. Shout out to you, sir. I didn't make a sort of oversight on my Sovereign build. I used preferential targeting, but I didn't use scatter volley. But to show how it still did well, that just goes to show you that you're really... It's just there's so much DACA here, and if you just synergize your build, you're still going to do okay. And keep in mind, we were just taking this into an advanced Argala. So for this particular ship, I did not T6 exit, so we're just working with 5 traits here. So we got emergency weapon cycle, T-Cells momentum, universal designs, overpowered and overgun, and supercharged weapons. Base reputation, again, you can see here we're boosting up the torps and crit chance severity as well. Repeater pre-fire sequence. Allo's duality. There's our advanced targeting systems, Omega kinetic shearing, and precision. Active space reputation. Biomolecular shield generator. We don't normally use these, but deploy sensor interface platform. Quantum singularity manipulation. Refractory tetron cascade. And anti-time entanglement singularity. So our stations, here we go. This is what we did here. So left to right, top to bottom, this is full intel. So we've used viral impulse burst, electromagnetic pulse probe, and these two are going to help with our unconventional systems to help cool down our abilities. We're going to use torpedo high yield 3. Yes! Just because I love my KT torps and just to fire for them, I'm here for it. Tactical team we put here. Hematite lace weaponry, attack pattern beta 2. And to get that sort of pewz scenes that we saw there, we're going to use beam fire at will 3. Making FA great again for our casual pewz. So emergency powered engines here, emergency powered weapons, override subsistence safeties 3, and we're still going to stick with directed energy modulation 3. Now I know I could use surgical strikes, but for the purposes of trying to emulate those two scenes that we saw, because it slows down the fire rate, what I want to do is not do that and just keep speeding up the fire rate with, again, you saw the traits there, the consoles, and of course, beam fire at will is going to try to help emulate that. Last two stations, tractor beam and jam targeting sensors. Let's go over our dopes. So to the dopes. So we have, of course, the 2 on ground helping us in space. We got Neil Falconer, increased damage versus the Berg, but Elder Milikitan, increased damage versus all. Space, here's what we have. We have the 2 energy weapons officer. One gives us a chance to stack crit severity when we fire weapons, energy weapons. The other gives us a chance to stack crit chance from firing weapons. We've put, of course, the projectile weapons officer, 3 of them here because these KT photons fire really quick, so this should help. And all of them will give us a chance to stack crit severity when we fire them. And of course, our good friend here, the Emergency Con hologram, recharges evasive maneuvers when emergency power to engines is activated. So there you go, captains. There is the build. Again, keep in mind, this is just for fun. This is just kind of what we like to do, is immerse ourselves and try to just come up with different ways to have fun in the games. And this is one of the ways I have fun. And as you can see here, we'll probably do okay, I bet, in this Argala. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take this Enterprise into the Argala and see how it does. Controls here. Of course, one of the standards test here, and this is more like a visual test, really, to be honest with you. That's what we're trying to emulate here, is the visual. And one of the rules that we have in terms of trying to emulate on-screen pew-pews is try to get the visuals correct. Anything under hood, free game. So here we go. Boost our damage here.
Tactical alert. Vessel approaching, bearing 184, Mark 7.
Go to red alerts, and let's see how this pewz goes. Let's buff up. See how it looks. Ooh. Ooh, there you go. I don't know about you, Caps, but that looked really good to me. That's the first group done. Let's save our buffs here for the next group and see how we do.
Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
There you go. Look at those KT torps. I love the KT torps, Caps.
Keep concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them and whittle down their numbers.
I think it's really doing a good job, and as you can tell, captains, I'm sort of keeping my front to the enemies here. That's doing really good, to be honest with you. I do love the sound of those photons firing. Ooh! Yes! Yo, pewz. There you go, look at that. That's exactly kind of how it looked like. And that's what we're going for. Exactly what we're going for. Let's use some energy candy, shall we? Ooh, there you go. That even looks better. See, that's what we want with the fa to happen. Keep our bow there. There you go. Ooh. Yes, that did really well. Again, they don't match 100% in my opinion, the phasers, but there you go. Last group already. Let's go, Caps. Let's do this. Let's buff up here. Ooh. Okay, that did a lot better than I thought it would. Alright, let's go over here, Caps. Oh, 1 second, sir. Go over here for our ship selfies. Let's just park somewhere over here. There we go. Again, captains, there you go. That's how she did. And again, let me emphasize again, we do these type of things just for fun, because this is a type of pewz that we do nightly anyways. So could this be built better? Of course it can. Am I going to do that all the time? No. I am doing this just for fun. And like I said, it's like what we did with our previous 5 Star Trek Day tribute videos. That's what we're doing. We're just grabbing inspiration from things that we've seen on screen and then just translating it into the game. And of course, this is a game, so we're just gonna do whatever we can to have fun, because that's the most important, captains, is just to have fun. So there you go, captains. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much, captains, for checking out the other videos. Like the video, comment below. What do you think of this Enterprise? What do you think of the design? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Subscribe to the YouTube Bridge and look out for tomorrow's part 7? Part 7 already in our Star Trek Day tribute. But captains, we will leave it on this note.
Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.